The greatest sermon ever preached didn't happen in a temple. It happened on a hillside. No microphone. No altar. No crowd of kings. Just regular people, like you and me. And Jesus looked at them with eyes full of mercy and began to speak. What followed was more than advice, more than poetry. It was a divine invitation to a different kind of life, a higher kind of love, a deeper kind of freedom. But hidden in those familiar verses are messages many of us miss. Let's listen again, because if you really hear him, it might just change everything. 1. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Matthew 5:3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Jesus doesn't say, blessed are the strong or the self-sufficient. He blesses the spiritually poor, those who know they need God. Not those who have it all together, but those who come empty and leave full. In a world obsessed with achievement, Jesus whispers, it's okay to not be enough. I am. The kingdom doesn't start with pride. It starts with surrender. 2. Love your enemies. Matthew 5:44. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. This is one of the hardest things Jesus ever said. And he meant it. He doesn't call us to tolerate enemies. He calls us to love them, to pray for them, to bless those who curse us. Why? Because that's what the Father does. He sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. This kind of love isn't weakness. It's divine strength. The power to break the cycle of hate. It doesn't mean agreeing with evil. It means rising above it. 3. Do not worry. Matthew 6:25-27. Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Jesus isn't blind to your pain. He's not asking you to pretend everything's fine, but he is saying, you don't have to carry this alone. Look at the birds. They don't stress. They trust. And your Father, he sees you. He knows. He cares. Worry steals your today and solves nothing about tomorrow. But trust, even fragile trust, can give you peace right now. 4. Enter through the narrow gate. Matthew 7:13-14. Enter through the narrow gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. Jesus isn't warning us to scare us. He's inviting us to wake up. Most people float through life on autopilot. They follow the crowd. They chase comfort. But that road, it leads nowhere. The narrow path takes intention, conviction, sacrifice. But it leads somewhere real, somewhere eternal. The narrow gate isn't a punishment. It's a gift for those who are truly seeking. 5. Built on the rock. Matthew 7:24-25. Everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Jesus ends his sermon with a story. 2 houses, 2 builders, same storm. Only one stands. Why? Not because of talent or wealth or luck, but because of foundation. Jesus says, If you hear my words and live them, you'll stand when the storm comes. Because the storm will come. But if your life is built on him, you won't fall. This sermon wasn't meant to be studied and shelved. It was meant to be lived. Jesus didn't speak these words to impress us. He spoke them to transform us. This is what the kingdom of heaven looks like. Humble hearts, fearless love, deep trust, courageous choices, and unshakable foundations. So which of these words was for you today? Let it stay. Let it grow. Let it change you. Because the sermon may have been spoken 2,000 years ago, but the voice that gave it still speaks, and he's speaking to you.